Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, sports card friends, family. Wow, it is Friday morning, July 16th, 2021. Thank you for being here. I'd like to tell you on this day in sports history, I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I used to do that last year. Last year, July, about this time, is when I really started launching Sports Cards Daily, and it was basically every day from July through January of last year. So super excited to look back. Today, we got a lot of great hobby content and news to share with you. I'm going to spend some time looking at some recent articles. We're going to look at some YouTube channels from yesterday. A lot of great content. Card porn is at it again, trying to stop a bad auction from going on. Extreme Sports Cards did a great video on trimmed card and showing you what happened with the trimmed card. Some great news around the hobby. We're going to take a look at Series 1, Top Series 1 for 2022. Looks like Wander Franco is going to be in that. He's not going to be in the update. What else? Just a ton of stuff to share with you. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Feel free to leave comments, questions as I go through kind of the news of the day, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Also, just want to remind you, it is Friday, so Sunday night is open mic night. This is the first open mic night without a holiday or a distraction or anything in the way, so really excited, looking forward to this being a fun one. Oh my gosh, I forgot to get back to Mike on something now. I just remembered I got a text message from Mike. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the content this morning. I got a lot of fun things to share. Let's start with, where should we start? Well, let's start with just the market and market news. Okay, so real quickly, market news, get this out of the way. A lot of green, some green in the second row there, the 30-day and average. Luka's the only one not seeing some green, and LaMelo not seeing green. But LaMelo's still up. Look at $800. This is still shockingly surprising me. There's just no way this card should hold its value for a base Prism rookie LaMelo Ball. Is it that we really think the pop count's 94? I mean, come on, people. What's going on there? Also, think about this. Every one of those, not everyone, but probably every one of them paid about $300 to get their card graded. Or they paid a premium because I don't think the regular grading was available when his card came out. So that's, those are expensive cards. Maybe that's why they cost so much for the resale. Also, just quick reminder, keep your eye on Tops. This is Tops right here, trading at $11.02, which is, again, surprisingly down. And Slam Corp, who could be the potential Panini in the future. We don't know, but maybe it's a rumor. By the rumor, sell the news. I'm not telling you to buy this. I'm just repeating that, okay? You do what you want to do. I am definitely not a financial advisor. In the hobby news today, let's start with, I thought this was interesting. Topps releases the 22 baseball card design. So first things, when you see this as a collector, first things we look for as collectors is, does it have a border? Is it borderless? This looks like it has a very distinct border, very thin border. Looks classic, almost like a Stadium Club. I like the look. Will it grade well? Is it centered? Does it have a good eye appeal? I think it's sexy, good-looking card. The Wander Franco, wow. Rookie card is going to be next year. So he's not going to be an update. That's pretty surprising to me, isn't it? I mean, isn't it surprising to most of you? Didn't he just get pulled up? I guess it was too late. And I wonder what that means, for update this year. Anyway, I thought I'd share that news with you. You can take a look at that. Other hobby news. I really enjoyed this story. This is basically ranking the 81, 82 Topps Magic Johnson, Larry Bird cards, which I was like, really? There's more than one? How many parallels did they have? Well, they didn't have parallels, but they had this. Check this out. You have this one here with Bird, Irving, and Magic. That's a pretty good one. But then you have this one right here with Joe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You got another one down here with Julius Irving, Magic Johnson, Larry. Oh, that's the same one. Sorry. What am I looking for? Magic Johnson, Boone. So you can see that they move these players around depending on the card. Irving, Magic Johnson, some other dude. That's the one that didn't get Larry Bird. You're like, damn, I didn't get Larry Bird. Look at the pop counts are pretty low. Oh, here they go. They get the numbers right here. Number 3, number 4. Here you get Larry Bird, but you didn't get the other guys because these are leader cards. That's pretty cool. Bill Cartwright. That's pretty cool. I remember old Bill Cartwright. He was a Knick, right? And then he ended up playing for the Bulls and won some rings with them. Anyway, I found this pretty interesting. Check it out. I'm not going to sit here and read them all to you, but Sports Collectors Daily, really cool article breaking down the Topps Magic Johnson Larry Bird card. Other things to share with you in the news. Well, last night I did a video I just dropped. I was doing some research for another project, and people are asking about sports card market dipping and the correction is for that. And I did a video basically showing that a lot of money is going right here. right? The NFT market space has not really slowed down. The products in it have slowed down. Like Top Shot's not the big dog anymore. It's not number 1. It's number 5 now. But all these new NFTs, most of them have been in this year, 2021, and most of them are extracting quite an amount of money. I mean, we're talking some pretty big amounts. Let me just give you some examples here. I don't want to spend too much time. I did this in the video last night, but look, there's Topps, and you can see their revenue and how this kind of trickled down. Topps is just, they're not executing properly on this NFT. Here's Top Shot. You can see they had a huge spike back in the beginning of the year. Look at that. Was that $45 million? And then they've been trickling down. And that's been, I think, most of us sports collectors have been looking at, going, hey, Topps is slowing down and Top Shot's slowing down. But look at these other guys. That's so rare. That's soccer. It's been up and still holding strong as we continue the year. The other ones I'm going to show you, Bored Ape Yacht Club, which I don't understand. I don't understand what this is. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't get it. But look at the revenue it's pulling in. $72 million since April. Since April. And then right here, Infinity, right? This is the one I show you because they started in 2018. They're pretty small. And then boom, look at this. 1 million, 5 million, 4 million, 27 million, 122 million, 291 million in July. And by the way, it's July 16th today. What is going on? So that's one place that the market's still doing very well in. It seems like the NFT space has not cooled off like we thought it did. In the NFT market, again, I am going to be dropping a video later today on my other channel. This is my Panini NFT channel. Please feel free to go over if you're into more in NFTs and subscribe. I appreciate it. This one I'm pretty excited about. I'm breaking down Top Shot, Topps, and Panini, kind of sharing the pros and cons and what I think of all three as they progress into 2021. So that's my NFT story today. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the content of the hobby. Starting with great video here from Bench Clear Media. And the second part of this should be up this morning. So if you haven't checked it out, check this out. And then go check out the second one. Now, first of all, let me first say this. Bench Clear, Ty and Michael, as far as I think about it, I know they buy and sell cards, right? And they run Bench Clear, but these guys don't run a data tool. They're not running a grading company. They're not selling a how-to class. They're not selling picks. And I say that because I want to remind you, I think Bench Clear is maybe the most unbiased collectors group out there. When I think of group of YouTube channels that give you kind of an honest opinion, Bench Clear might be it, right? And the reason, in fact, maybe Bench Clear's card porn. I don't think it would be. Like, it would be cool if you found out Mike, baseball card collector, was card porn. I think that'd be funny because he's such a classic, collector guy. Like, he's card porning you out. And I'll get to card porn in a moment. But this video, really good. And I do recommend they give you a link here to listen to, what's the gentleman's name? 1003, which I've been following his channel. And he basically talks about how he got into sports cards and how he got into using his credit card and the dilemma that put him in. And I think my takeaway from this, okay, is he's very honest about when you're new to cards last year and everything was going up and everybody was making money, it was easy to say, I'll use my credit card, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll extend myself. And I can even say myself, I received cards back from PSA recently that I'm looking at going, why the hell did I grade this, right? And that's one of the things he talks about too, is that he sent stuff off grading expecting to be 20-day, 45-day return, and he's still waiting for stuff. And that put him in a pinch. And what's cool about this story, I like his honesty. I like Mike and Ty's comments to it. But to me, this is a dead canary in the coal mine, okay? There are a lot of people like this who've learned a lot about sports cards, financially learning. And let me just remind you, they didn't learn from the chuckleheads last year who were telling you to buy this and buy that and my data this and my data that. Those were not the right people to listen to, right? The people who knew what you should have been listening to, no one was listening to, right? And I think that's one of my concerns. I've said this over and over and over. Gary Vee told everybody there's gold in the mountains, but he didn't tell anybody there's coyotes and snakes on the way to the mountain. So a great video. And again, I want to emphasize, I love it when you get honest content, honest content from a content creator. And Ty and Michael give it to you pretty honestly here, right? There's some concerns that are coming. In fact, I'm working on my next forecast video. I'm going to look at doing a forecast for 2021 and into 2022. I honestly think there's a bigger crash yet to come on the horizon. I don't think it's going to hit till 2022, 23. And it's not a crash in the cards. It's a correction in the industry. There's way too much happening and not enough to support it, right? Like, in my opinion, a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the companies that are building and making solutions are coming in, hey, sports cards, right? Like Whatnot and all these companies, Hey, that's great for last year's market, if last year could sustain, but it can't, right? And as we move forward, I think those companies, few of them will succeed, but more will fail than succeed. And I feel the same way about some of the shops that are opening. So I think you're going to see a big correction in 22, 23, which should be unlike nothing. Like, for example, another point, there's way too many products being made that people aren't going to want and have no value. Back in 2016, I remember asking, why do they make so many products? And somebody said, because most of them suck, right? And I was like, I don't understand that. Well, that's a fact. Most of these products don't hold collector value. Most of them, majority, right? That is why StarStock does not take cards from Illusion, right? They don't take Donruss Elite. There's some products that just don't hold value. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor this, but great conversation. I do recommend listening to this. And again, there's a part 2 coming out today. I'm looking forward to hearing as well. But again, Canary in the Cave Mine. Next up, another great video here from Extreme Card Breaks. I'll be honest, I love Extreme Card Breaks, and I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but man, every time I watch his videos, I think to myself, why in the hell am I in sports cards? This one's a perfect example. He shows you this card gets trimmed. You can see it's one size and then it's another size, and when it shows up in the trim size, it shows up in a BGS 10 slab. Now, who's at fault for that? Is it BGS for slabbing the card? Or is it the trimmer? I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's just horrible. It happened. It is the case. This card is in a slab. Let me see if I can show you that. Where is the slab here? Here it is. There it is. Okay, this is a trim card in a pristine 10. Pristine 10. And he goes back and shows you, I think it's right here. I don't know. I'm going to hit a commercial. Let's see. No commercial, please.
You ever wondered what actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape really fast for a movie?
No.
Notice that white spot right here, still the back.
Okay, so here he is. This isn't in a BGS 8. This is and he shows you the serial number of a PSA 8. And there's the bat with the white. And then he shows you in a BGS 10 a few minutes later. When I watch this, I just think to myself, see, there's nobody protecting us. Even BGS or the grading companies can't do anything about this. There'd be a lot of angry people in the future. I know I'd be furious if I bought what I thought was a, authentic autograph rookie card and found out it was trimmed, modified. I mean, that would just, I guess that's what's going to happen. Somebody needs to sue somebody, man. Somebody needs to sue somebody. Okay. Next one up, and this is a bigger one. This is card porn. Now, honestly, this happened yesterday. And card porn gives you a great write-up here. But here's what the deal is. They identified a trim card, a trimmed LeBron James card. They notified Heritage Auction, hey guys, you have a trim card on your website. Heritage has done nothing. So if you're bidding this card and plan to, please keep in mind this card is 100% trimmed. It's disappointing. More than 11 days has passed since told Heritage, and the card has trimmed, and they have done nothing. So, and what card porn says is in the past they typically bring attention and things get corrected, but this time they brought attention and Heritage has ignored it. I don't know what to say, guys. Again, this is one of my pull my hair out things, right? We got an industry where people are criminals. They're stealing. They're robbing. I mean, it's terrible enough to sell picks, but it's even worse to trim cards, to cross them over, to slab them and resell them, and then have auction houses that don't do anything about it. Like, who regulates auction houses? Nobody, right? Anybody can be an auction house. And you don't have to authenticate shit. Who cares? I'm just selling it. I don't care. You think eBay authenticates everything they sell? No, they don't. They just sell it. Right? This is just, it hurts me. And people wonder. Again, I don't know what to say. I don't know if there's been an update on this from card porn. I'm surprised this has gotten here. And again, think if card porn was bench clear. Is it Mike and Ty? It's not. Can't be them. But it'd be cool. Okay, so what else did I want to hit on today? We hit on that, and let's just show a little bit of. Okay, here we go. Last few videos to share with you. Off the negativity, and let's go on to the positive. Let's go on to the National. If you're getting ready for the National, if you're on the National, have an awesome time. Super excited. Hope you share some content, some news, have a great time, get some good hits, whatever it might be. Meet people. This is a good video I recommend you listen to. There's another one coming up. This one is yesterday. Beckett Media, president from Beckett, Jeremy. Great conversation. He explained to you what to expect at Beckett. I mean, at the national, as far as their grading. He gave you an update on a little bit on what Beckett's doing as well. It was just a very good update. So a few things in there that made sense to me. That kind of give you tips. If you're going to get cards graded at the national, I recommend listening to this video so you understand what the drop-off, pickup, and so forth are, prices and whatnot. So check this out. Great video, and also worth getting an update too. This is the president of Beckett. We always wonder what's going on with Beckett. Where's Beckett? Well, here he is. I listened into this. It was live. I didn't ask any questions or anything, but I did enjoy excuse me, the insight here. Last video I want to share with you. Go GTS Live was back last night. Super excited to hear those guys. They did a hobby happenings as well. I'll play a little bit of this for us.
This hobby we all love, and a segment I love called Hobby Happenings. Well, we kick things off with Ken Golden talking about the current state of the market for Michael Jordan's 1986-87 Fleer rookie card in terms of supply and demand. Watch this.
1986 Fleer Jordan. Here's a bit of key information you all probably want to know. From January 1st to February 28th of this year, Golden Auctions received approximately 40 PSA 10s for consignment. This represented about 14% of the total population of these cards. We sold many at auction. We sold many privately. I'm putting out this message to let you know that we are out. We are down to our final 3 PSA 10 Jordans. That is it. We have not taken a new PSA 10 86 Fleer Jordan in the past 45 days.
So just pause this. This is interesting to me. I don't know what they think about this. I guess I'm thinking to myself, between January and February, that was really the height, right? At the height of NFTs, height of crypto, height of everything. 40 of these were there. How did he decide which one goes first in the auction? And what are the last three? The last three guys, are they happy? I'm just curious about that. And having 14% of that, that's just interesting. Also, it points out how these auction houses do control the market. You see what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't see that on eBay. Let's say there was no golden auction. The only way you could sell PSA 10s was eBay. If 40 people want to sell them, they all would have put them on the market in January, February. Actually, would have kept prices down because there would have been higher supply. So in theory, Golden suppressed the supply so he could increase the demand and get the most value, which again, hey, I understand he did it for the people he's selling to, but I want to point out for the market, that's market manipulation, isn't it? I mean, isn't that market manipulation? I mean, there's nothing, it's not illegal. It's not a crime, but it's unethical. And I'm just wondering, it's interesting to me. Anyway, there's a lot more tips in here. What I wanted to bring your attention to, as I do walk through, like here's another one I thought was interesting. I remember this card. I remember chasing Ohtani, man. I was in a lot of Bowman breaks back in the day. Never got a single Bowman auto. In fact, I want to make another comment no one's talking about. Ohtani signed a few of these with his Japanese signature, or Japanese letters, whatever. Very few of them. They've got to be extremely valuable. I haven't seen any recently. I saw a few back in the day. I had a friend who got this card, not this specific one, but he did pull the 21, the orange, the 25 to orange autograph. And I remember a friend of mine helped him negotiate a deal of, I think, around $17,000 to $18,000 for the card raw back then. And now look at this card just sold for $148,000. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what do you think this super is going to sell for? I mean, like we talked about Tatis super, right? Be a $2 million card. Is Ohtani super a $2 million card? Is it $1 million card? I like Ohtani more than I do Tatis. And that's just me. And I'll tell you my logic behind that. I like this historical stuff he's doing, but even if he doesn't do that, I like the fact that he's a very, very prominent Japanese baseball player, globalizing, taking this market a little bit further. So I'm a fan of his stuff. I have none of his autos. Wish I did, but that was interesting. Anyway, the other parts in here, they go over here some of the stories and the parties and stuff that are going to be happening at the National. They tell you, I think Steel City's doing a contest, drawings. Anyway, I do recommend checking out. It's only about 15 minutes. You don't have to watch the full 2 hours. It's about these 15 minutes that go over Go GTS Live, hobby happenings, and they talk about the National. And like I said, if you're going to the National, it's worth listening to both the Beckett video and the Go GTS Live on the National. And there'll probably be more content coming out. I do think, again, one thing that people don't emphasize, one of the great things about National is that you get access to the manufacturers, the distributors. There'll be prizes and giveaways and stuff too. So that's a lot of fun. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Let's go back, poke in here to the chat and see what everybody's saying. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, John, man. You too, man. Have a great Friday, guys. Have a great end of the week and have a great weekend wherever you are. I hope you're safe and strong and happy and healthy. You know, as I'm dealing with my allergies right now, I'm thinking to myself, here in the United States, we're having that COVID, issue still again. I guess the Delta variant. You don't think they would close National, do you? I mean, it's only 2 weeks away, but boy, that would suck. I mean, that would suck. I'm not calling for that. I'm just mentioning it. It came in my head, right? Because you know how this world is. Good morning, Michael Ham. The Warehouse Sports Cards. I'll check you out, man. I think you're new here. Missed the update set by a month. Yep. That's crazy, don't you think? So is update worth getting? Is this year have a good rookie class? Who are the good cards to chase? Who will be rookie of the year? LaMelo is selling for more than Miller President. I think that's crazy. I agree. Trigger figure, it is. It is. But don't confuse logic with emotion in the hobby. It doesn't make sense. I don't even know what to say. I should look at what other graded cards are selling for at LaMelo. Like that's LaMelo PSA 10. What are BGSs or HGAs or the pure graded X's? What are they selling for? What is going to happen with all the money sunk into Top Shot? Eventually, I can see Top Shot crashing. Absolutely agree, Elite. In fact, in my video, which I'm dropping at 10 o'clock on my other channel, without giving it away, I do think Top Shot is done. There's so much money coming in NFT space, right? And that's what I was trying to show you. But it's not going to Top Shot. And I'll also tell you the NFT money coming into space is not coming in from the collector community, not the traditional sports card collector community. It comes in from the crypto community, it comes in from the millennial, it comes in from different communities. But that money still coming in NFTs is not going to Top Shot. Top Shot's got a lot of problems. Number one major problem with Top Shot is that they don't have any intellectual property. I mean, think about this. There's nothing that's unique about them. They're leveraging a blockchain. They take video clips and they put them on the blockchain. They don't add any value to that. There's no artistic value to that. Even the point, like here's a good example I make in my video. An NFT is a piece of digital data that's been, hashed and tokenized, okay? And for them, that's the video. When they add a badge to it or change the numbering to it, that does not affect the NFT. That's just basically metadata on the NFT, in my understanding. Where if you look at Topps, both Topps and Panini, being that they're real true collector sets, they have very strong, firm limits on their mint runs. And they put that into their cards, right? Their cards have, I think, 2,600 in Topps and I think 1,800 in Panini. And in Panini, they even put them on the NFT picture, so you can't change it. That's a huge thing. I mean, one of Top Shot's problems is Top Shot was peddling around doing the NFTs. Things blew up, and they're like, holy smokes. They got greedy. Instead of saying, hey, this is the way things are going to be, people are going to sustain it, we're going to keep the mint runs low and continue on our project path of whatever, they said, how can we get more of this money? How can we expand it? And they started bringing in more and more people. In fact, the thing I don't like about it at all is I consider myself like a mid-tier collector. My collector scores are on a 1,500. So I'm high enough to get in some packs, but not high enough to get into the good packs. I'm not low enough to get in the weekly packs at all. So I'm not getting anything right now, which is just, it's foolish. Anyway, Groot, can you please not bark at the neighbor? Grooty, come back here. I agree with you. I think Top Shot is crashing. Now, the problem, what I will say, Top Shot, real quickly, they have a very, very strong community, the strongest NFT community, in my opinion. When you look at the YouTube channels, the Moment Ranks, Evaluate Market, the products that support them, they are strong, and they are not going to let go. They believe, and they don't want to listen to anybody else, right? They don't want to hear about Panini NFTs. They don't want to hear about Topps. They just think Top Shot's everything, and Top Shot's great, and they can't wait for season 3. That community is very, very strong, and it will keep Top Shot relevant probably for another year or two. But I will say here on July 16th, 2021, what we know of Top Shot will not be the company it is in 5 years, maybe not even 3. It probably gets bought into some asset, and it's a collectible, but it's mismanaged. It's totally misrun. The only thing Top Shot did well was the queuing system, where they made it kind of fair, and that they've even screwed up. So they, in my opinion, they've done nothing well right now. So anyway, I digress. You can check out more later on that video at 10 o'clock. I am shocked no one has started a class action suit versus PSA based on clearly not delivering the turnaround times. It's interesting you say that. I think you watched this Trigger Figure. Did you watch Bench Clear and Ty talk about that? He said he does think that's the reason PSA shut down, was that they realized because they're holding so much inventory and the values were decreasing, they could be liable or somebody could sue them. I don't know if they'd win that. Anybody can sue anybody, right? But I agree with you. PSA is a nightmare. I mean, they're not, again, with this new hobby world, everything's PSA is a juggernaut. PSA is, again, another mismanaged company that's very focused on profit and not the collector. Not transparent, and hey, they're doing well for their shareholders. I'm not going to knock them too much, but it is what it is. I'm just not not going to plan to use investing them. I think investors and flippers call it a crash, while longtime hobbyists call it a correction because most of the fake spikes were just bumps and dumps. That's not wrong. I think it's a very fair thing. And I agree with you. As a hobbyist, I do call it a correction because I think it's a correction in behavior, right? I think the behavior is wrong. In fact, one thing that was mentioned on the 1004 video, I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember his name. He talks about last year he started buying a lot of second-year cards. Man, I was screaming that when that happened. Don't buy second-year cards. Don't buy second-year cards. Don't buy second-year autos. Because here's the truth, okay, and from my perspective. Hobbyists want rookie only. Rookie cards, rookie autos, rookie relics. And what happens is Panini overlaps, or they'll have some of their, last year's class coming in at the same time the new class. So all of a sudden a new product will show up. Like, for example, when Patrick Mahomes autographs from his first year or his second year when he started playing came out, people assume those are valuable because it's Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be MVP, all that stuff. But those are second-year cards. Now, again, they have some value because it's Patrick Mahomes, but people didn't understand that was not a rookie card. They weren't educated. And that's a huge problem. And again, I'll say there's maybe 2 people that have valuable second-year cards out of how many people in sports cards? And I'm referring to basically LeBron and Jordan. Those are the only ones I know that have true value in their second-year cards. I guess you could argue some Trout or something like that, but it's a handful of people. So don't do that. That's absolutely correction of behavior. Flippers call it a crash. I agree. I'm not gonna argue that. And it is, and again, it ain't over, guys. I know people think, oh, it's rebounding. Things are better. And that's one thing I'll say. If you listen to a guy who's making money, I'll put it this way. If you're listening to a drug dealer who's dealing the drug of the hobby, he's going to tell you that everything is great. If you listen to somebody who's a user of the hobby, I'm going to tell you there's more to come. Okay? I'll just leave it at that. California just mandated masks again. Again, I agree. And this could be an issue, guys. I don't want that to happen, but it could. I'll put it this way, man. If you have a newborn, are you likely to go to the National right now and come back? I wouldn't do that. Right? And I don't mean to say that because I have a couple of friends who are doing that, and I don't mean that in the wrong way, but just think about that. I might change my opinion of going to a place where there's a Delta variant and another breakout happening. I don't know. It just sucks, really does. And let me say this real quickly. Part of it is again, lack of education. Because most of this country still isn't vaccinated. Not most, it is a majority or a large portion of it. I'll even say, in fairness, I've only had 1 shot, so I need to get my second shot this week. I was late to get it, and I also live here in the woods, and I isolate myself. But anyway, I'm digressing. What are your thoughts on the Panini soccer stickers? Excuse me. To be honest, Doc, I'm not a soccer expert. I would say I'm probably a bigger fan of the Panini stickers because I think those are more in line with their rookie years. Here's what I'll tell you, I think. If I look at the soccer market, I would rather have a soccer sticker of a player than I would rather have their mosaic card, even if it said rookie on it. I think there's way too many new products coming out that are going to have no value in the soccer world, right? Where I do think the Panini sticker has been known for years and years and years. As Dustin's on personal finance debt, his wife knows the Panini stickers, right? Because she was in Italy. So I would trust the Panini sticker more than I would of some of these Panini cards. On the card side, I don't know which ones I would chase. I don't know if it's Prism or Select or whatever. I mean, a lot of them haven't been around a long time, right? There used to be a set called Futura. Anyway, but it wasn't run by Panini. It was somebody totally different. Oh, man, I got some good comments coming up. I like this. Let's keep talking. They don't want to disperse funds now. I would be very worried about Top Shot settling my account. Well, they do a little bit better job of it, but in fact, here's a comment. Panini, and I will say I like this, like Panini pays attention to the market. Top Shot doesn't pay attention to anybody but themselves. They're really just, I think they're just lost. But Top Shot had a whole problem with getting money out. With Panini, they hook you with your PayPal account. So as soon as you sell something on their blockchain, it's in your account instantly. As soon as you buy something, it goes out of your PayPal account. There's instant settling up there. But yeah, I would definitely worry about Top Shot and what their future is. It's going to be interesting to see this off season, right? Man, does a Fuki mask count? I don't know. I don't know if it does. Also, do you know what happened to Fleer? Could they come back? So Fleer was bought by Panini. Is that right? Or did Upper Deck buy Fleer? Somebody would know in the chat. I want to say it was Panini, but it might have been Upper Deck. Anyway, Fleer was acquired. So they wouldn't come back. they could come back as a product under one of the whoever bought them, and I can't believe I don't know who that is. My heart says Panini, but my mind says Upper Deck. Crash, more like Christmas. Again, it depends. I cheapskate collectibles. I understand. Party, man, it's a party out here. I just think there's more time. Like I look at cards right now and going, oh, if I want that card, I can get that one later. I'll get that one later. Like there's so many of them, right? That I know that I'll like Luca Prism base. There's a lot of those, and it's continue to go down. Which again, let me just bring up another thing. This is why market caps in sports cards are bullshit. Because in a declining market, no one is going to buy all the inventory at the last price, right? Someone tells you that the market cap of a card is, oh, it's the pop count times its last sell. Tell them they're lying to you. Say, stop. Just please stop, man. You're lying to me. And then maybe re-educate them. Market cap you should not use the word market cap in sports cards. It just doesn't make sense. That's just my opinion. Nats man, what's a Fuchi mask? No face on it? I don't know what a Fuchi mask is. You can't win a lawsuit under a cloud of a pandemic. Unfortunately, COVID helped the hobby and hurt the hobby. That's a very good point, Elite. In fact, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't mind. I hope you don't mind me chatting a little longer. I feel like the hobby was doing really well before COVID. It really was. Had healthy organic growth. Products were being controlled. There was visibility. There was grading. It was still a small community. When COVID hit, this thing became like everybody's party. And in a good way, that was great. But in a bad way, it's bad. Like I feel like I'm at a college party and it's the next day after the party and it's a hangover. The house is trash. People are picking up shit. And the friends that are there are waking up telling you stories about what happened last night. Those are the true hobbyists. But all the sons of bitches who went home last night, who left the party, those aren't coming back. And I do mean that. I think we're in a worse position because like I said, here's my number one concern. All those people came in and were saying, we want to buy everything. And it takes manufacturers at least 6 months to respond. So let's look at just January, February. Everybody's crying. Oh, there's not enough retail. Oh, there's not enough products. Oh, I can't get this. I can't get that. So manufacturers started cranking it up in 2021, making more products. Like Panini has made more baseball products than they've ever made before. And they don't have a full license for that, right? So you got all these products. There's more soccer products now, right? You got all the basketball and the football and the baseball products, and you have a few additional ones of those. And as they manufacture this for 21 and plan to do it for 2022, the people at the party aren't there anymore. And that's going to lead to a massive crash. And where that crash is going to come first, in my opinion, is in stores. Because stores are going to be buying inventory, expecting people to buy it, and they're not going to be showing up. And they're going to lose. And the only guys, in my opinion, that are going to do well is if you have allocation. If you don't have allocation, you're in trouble. My opinion only. And I think that's going to hurt the hobby. I think 5 years from now, we're going to look back at COVID and go, was COVID good or bad for the hobby overall? And there'll be debate about that. I think overall, it might be bad because it might have brought all the money in there. And let's say, for example, Topps sold out. If Panini sells out, and you get all these new management people coming in who are just solely focused on the dollar and maximizing shareholder revenue, and then you get all the crime and all the fakes and the frauds and everything. Yeah, I just don't see this going in a good way. God, that sucks. Why am I being so negative? Good video by Scotty B. Card just about card company strategy, printing and overprinting Wander Franco next year to simply maximize brand sales. I'll have to check that out. Not surprised, but again, that's not new, man. Panini did that with Zion. In fact, I'll even go back as far as in 2017 was, in my opinion, one of the first hype years where Panini started making products specifically for a rookie class, and that was Lonzo Ball, Tatum, and Fultz. You had 3 major franchises, 1, 2, and 3 in the draft, and they started making products for that. As example, that is the first year the First Off the Line came out. Okay? That is when they started adding more inserts, right? That is also when Lonzo's dad was running around, and Lonzo's dad had autographs in Panini, right? You could get Lonzo's dad autographs in Panini. You talk about the hype chain. They were hyping it up. So then after that, they were kind of looking for hype. Another one was Judge and Bellinger, right? So the hobby does look for players they can leverage, and I don't say overprint, but maximize the value on that. Wander Franco's one. Lawrence is another, right? We're seeing a lot of that going on. Groot and Sandy, stop growling. Groot and Sandy, calm down. Sandy, I said no. Come here. Does Big A going after Panini, does this mean a better shot at the MLB license? I hope so. No, I don't think it does. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't, because Panini, I can't see Panini getting the Topps, getting the baseball license, and I don't see baseball doing a dual unless they all did dual licensing, is my thoughts. but it does mean I'm sure A-Rod would. Here's what I would tell you would do. It does mean Panini would probably print more baseball products that are non-licensed. You see what I'm saying? Like they're definitely going to go spend more money in baseball if A-Rod were to get Panini. But I don't think Panini gets the license. Now, again, what I would argue, and I'd even argue to Panini and to Topps and Upper Deck is, why are none of you not starting some grassroots movement where you get a petition signed to the league saying stop the exclusive licensing? That's who we need to talk to. We need to talk to the commissioners of the leagues and say, look, you can make more money if you had more licenses. Now, at the same time, in the back of my head, what I just told you about how we've lost, the party's over and there's not a lot of people here and we're printing too many products, I don't think it would work. I think it might be too late for that. I don't know. I have to think about that. Scotty B is great. I'm checking more Scotty B videos. I like Scotty B. There, man, I love the chat. Extreme Cards Night at 10, straight shooter. Yes, he is. He is. You know, it's funny. Friday nights are a hard night for me with kids and stuff like that to make. I might be around this Friday night to join that at 10 o'clock live. I am a huge fan of Extreme Breaks. Like his show, Theodore. Thank you. Good morning, bro. At the beach. What's up, Silky Stroke Survivor? At the beach. Living it strong. Hope you're having a great time, man. Hit me up when you're back in town. We'll go chase some retail. I haven't found any retail in forever, by the way. As a collector, the market has reset to a collector's market from a flipper's. Thank God. Not true. I mean, I can agree with that. Collector's market has reset, but I think it's going to get better. I really do. I don't mean this in the wrong way, but I do think there's more money that will come out of this market, or more decrease in value. Part of me thinks PSA might have to settle if there is enough people backing lawsuit. You advertise 30 days, you get tracked. You know, that's not. I don't disagree with you, Trigger Finger. I don't disagree with you. You know, that's a good point. I think they would settle too. Although they have had several class action suits against them. Even look at another one is Panini and the redemptions. I've had a hell of a time with Panini redemptions. I have redemptions from 2016, 2017, 2018 that still haven't been redeemed. I've asked for stuff and it's just not happening. There was a lawsuit against Panini. I think it was pushed out of court. I'll tell you this. In general, guys, there's not a lot of consumer protection in the United States like there used to be. A lot of laws have moved in favor of businesses, and consumers don't have the same power they used to have, right? If you don't believe me, look at what's going on in the market today. Chesapeake, it's supposed to be disposable income. It's turned into stock ticker. I don't disagree with you, but see, the definition of disposable income is up to each individual, right? A lot of individuals don't look at it as disposable. They think of it as it's a profit center, right? It's their way to extract money. And when you do that, then you start making compromises. Like I said earlier, there's a difference between a collector and an investor. Investor's looking for how he can maximize the value. That's why something like Whatnot, where you get the most money from the break, is in his mind. A collector, when I do a break, I'm thinking about how do I get the product to the most friends? How can we share the burden of this cost, right? It's not a profiting goal. It's a sharing of the experience goal. And that's the difference between collector and investor. And I know some of us have a little bit of both in, but whew. I honestly thought of being trapped in Chicago. Travel restrictions change weekend at National. Just at a real possibility the way things are going. It is a real possibility. And anyway, we'll see. I'm also curious to see if what was I going to say? Oh, if the attendance record's broken. Upper Deck 205. Panini's first soccer World Cup sticker was Mexico 1970. I'd rather have I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And again, John might have a comment on this, but I would rather have the Panini stickers over some of the Panini cards if I'm chasing soccer. Part of it is the soccer world has a challenge with the whole rookie thing, which, again, the manufacturers have no problem screwing that up because they'll put a rookie logo on anything, right, without verifying it. And I think that's a problem in soccer, right? Because soccer, you got different leagues, different times they come up. It's more confusing. Baseball has some very distinct rules on the rookie card and so forth. But I absolutely agree with you on that one. Dr. Fucci, I'm a horrible speller. One of the costume masks. The mask looks like Dr. Fucci. Okay. If you ran a company like Topps, where would look to diversify business, what non-card business would you look to acquire? Good question. I think who's up for acquisition is going to be the data companies, the market movers and card ladders of the world. It wouldn't make sense for Topps to buy something like that. I don't think it makes sense for them to buy a grading company either. I don't know. You said to diversify non-business. It's a good question. I'm stumped. I'm stumped. I'm thinking like a toy or collectible, like a Funko or something like that, but I don't know. Like I think maybe them buying Funko would be a good move. Topps buying Funko or something like that, or maybe Topps bobbleheads, or if it's a bobblehead company. I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question. Good question. I'll be thinking there too. Uncertainty in the economy and inflation. Last thing you're worried about is pop counts and release dates of products. Very true. Very true. Oh, it's Fauci, bro. Fauci's okay. Fauci, there's a lot of dudes. Vertical integration, price control. Looking forward to the national content coming. Dig the content, sir. Thanks, Bill. Thank you very much, man. Vertical integration and price control. 2005 Upper Deck bought Fleer for, thank you very much, $6.1 million. So it is Upper Deck that has the Fleer license. Interesting. And then they've been blocked by the NBA and doing NBA basketball cards. I did see yesterday that they got a patent, I think, on the hard courts. So I think you're going to look to see, because if you remember, Upper Deck did the hard court cards. They're bigger cards, pieces of hard court. You might see more of that in the future. Let's see here. Remember that Topps is a candy manufacturer, is a primary business of cards. Yeah, that's true. That's why they came out with the Bazooka NFTs, which in my opinion have been a failure. I mean, a complete failure. I've been watching those. I don't even understand why people are into them. They haven't sold out and they've been out for a month. And again, why would you want a Bazooka NFT? I hate to say that. Love the extended chat time today. Saying, hey, thanks, doctor. Thank you, DR. What's next? Scoreboard coming back to QVC? What next? Scoreboard coming back to QVC? Oh, that's hilarious. It could happen. Let me just say this. How many places are selling cards today, right, that didn't sell them a year and a half ago? It used to be just Topps. I mean, it used to be Target and Walmart. Now you get them at like Rite Aid and I think Barnes and Noble. And someone I think said like there's some other weird place they showed up. Dual licensing means less money for the MLB. Exclusivity drives a lot more money. But let's talk about that. Why do you say that? Because here's the deal. They get a percentage off of the license. Like I assume that, I think we even saw this, right? They pay them millions of dollars for the license. Why would they not say, look, we're going to have 2 licenses this year, and they both cost millions of dollars? Why wouldn't that work? Right? So let's just say I'm the NBA, and today I get paid $10 million from Panini to license the NBA. And I say, you know what? Starting in 2024, I'm going to do 2 licenses because I like competition, surprisingly, because I'm a sport. I like competition. I'm going to do 2 licenses. And Panini says, well, that sucks, man. We're not going to give you $10 million. And then Topps says, we'll give you $10 million. And Upper Deck says, we'll give you $10 million. Then they got $20 million. Or even if they did it as a percentage of the business, wouldn't they do better off with competition? I just don't. I don't trigger finger. I love you, man. You're a great guy. I love your conversation here, but I don't agree with this. I think I could make a business argument that they could make more money by having competition in sports cards. And I think consumers would like that. Now, here's what will happen. The companies won't make more money. Okay, let me just be clear. Panini won't necessarily make more money if there's dual licenses, and Topps won't necessarily make more money, but there'll be more product options for me as a consumer, and the NBA, the licensor, would make more money, right? I just think that argument needs to be made to the leagues, not to the manufacturers, not to the collector. We need to take that story higher. Sign of junk era repeating. Cards sold at Cracker Barrel. Yep. Barnes and Noble, Rite Aid. There we go. And seeing cards pop at stores that weren't carrying. Exactly. It is. And again, and this is what I don't understand, I guess, because I lived through that and others didn't. But not only is that repeating, but the whole boom in sports cards. How many people do you know who've gone out and opened a sports card business? Or even better, how many people do you know who this was a hobby to them and now it is their life income? Right? That's a bigger change. And I understand that. I've thought about going full-time in sports cards. I thought about that when I was out of work, right, for a while. But I enjoy this as a hobby. In fact, I even said to a friend, the reason I don't want to do this for a living is because then I wouldn't enjoy it the same way. I know I wouldn't. I enjoy it because it's a hobby. And that, to me, is going to be huge. It's not just all the stores that have it. It's all the people who are making a living in this hobby. And when that changes and they can't pay the bills and they can't get, food for their kids or, stuff starts hurting, that's going to suck. And I don't see any way that does not happen. I just don't see that not happen. There's no way we're going to sustain all the card stores that are being opened up and all the businesses that are out there. Like, for example, even in the grading world, there's 10 different grading company options, But I know in my heart of hearts that they're all not going to survive just because the market's not there for it. Now, right now there is, but let's say if PSA had introduced their bulk at $8 or $15 or $25, that would put some of those grading companies out of the market, right? So there's going to be consolidation. There's opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in this fluctuating market for the next 18 to 24 months that you will be able to make and lose lots of money. Good morning, Shelly. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Junk era, you could have a convenience store, supermarket, everywhere. Yep. Absolutely agree. I think the national will just be a social media content creators running around pushing the agenda and propaganda, wanting more subscribers. I agree. But I will say this. I really wanted to go, right? I really did want to go. I can't go. And the reason I wanted to go is I kind of want to see the culture clash of real dealers looking at some of these flippers and go, no. And also saying, excuse me, please don't sell on my space, right? I find it rude personally when you're at the booth, the guy paid for the booth, and then two other guys come up and they start doing a deal at your booth. I think that's rude. I just personally do. I think that culture is going to have a wake up call. I also think, I don't think there's going to be this big boom coming out of the National. I don't think the National is going to fix it. Like, I don't think the National is a happy hour for the next party. Other than Nationals, it's going to be the National, right? The guys who make money in sports cards are going to continue making money in sports cards, right? I do wish I could go there to see it. And I also say I think the content is going to be less because I think the content creators, there's less of them now too. Cards are being sold at Cracker Barrel. Yes, they are. They are being sold at Cracker Barrel. There was some other place that was random that came up at. And I'm talking like Panini Prism cards too. But I will say it's all retail, which again reminds you, if you're a hobbyist 5 years ago, they would tell you that hobby is where you spend your money and retail is junk. All retail was junk. The only retail has value today is because there's value in base cards and shiny cards. But it's still junk. Casinos are reopening in Toronto. Guess where I'm going to be tonight? Can't wait. Good luck, Mr. Wonderful. Good luck, sir. Have a great time. I would say most casinos I think have opened up back here in the U.S. If Fleer came back, maybe Bob's Big Boy will make a comeback too. I remember Bob's Big Boy. Holy smokes. Peace out. Enjoy the AM videos. Back at work. Hey, man. Have a great day, Nats, man. Time to make the donuts. I'm going to have to cut off here in a minute, too. It's past 9. I agree with Theodore. I think we need to weed out a lot of the weaker content creators, though. My feed is overflowing now. What's your favorite non-sports set? Non-sports set. I don't know. I'm big into sports. What's a non-sports set? I'd probably go with I'm a big fan of Marvel, but not the Marvel like everybody's following. Like I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess it'd probably be comics, man. I actually have a nice comic collection. I do. I just don't buy and sell comics because they're comics that I read them and I crease them and I enjoy the comics. I guess that'd be my non-favorite sports. That would be comic books, but not in a selling. I'm not selling my comic books. I'm not great at my comic books. I have no interest in doing that. All this nostalgia come back. What's next? WKRP reboot. WKRP in Cincinnati. I love it. I'd buy a robot, Lonnie Anderson. Oh, she was cutie. The world needs Wes Newman. Yes, he does. Yes, it does. That was a great show, man. Is that on Hulu? Sorry, saw robot, not reboot. It's okay. We got you. Will Nat and Cohen be at the National? I don't know. I don't think Cohen would be. Why would he go? Right? Nat probably will be there. I have to assume Nat will be there. And Gary Vee will be there. The companies don't pay as much if the license is not exclusive. I understand that, but I still think, again, I understand that, right? Because you're right. It's a premium. I'm getting exclusivity. I'll pay you more. But again, if I'm the commissioner, I still think I can get more money. Again, it's a dealing thing. If Panini says, well, I'm not giving you $10 million, go, fine, fuck you, Panini. Bye. You think Upper Deck wouldn't step up right now to do NBA and Topps? If you said Topps and Upper Deck, hey, you guys want license? In fact, here's a little story, Trigger Finger. I don't know how true this is, but if you listen to Wax Museum podcast, he did a video on this. This is mainly podcast, and he puts it on the YouTube channel a few months ago. Again, can't verify this. This is the hearsay. But he's telling me that back in 2009, what happened is that Panini, Topps, and Upper Deck had a meeting with the NBA, and they agreed collectively that Panini would have exclusivity. Now that shocks me. It really does. I can't. I'd love to have seen that meeting and how that happened, but from what I understand is that basketball was struggling. It really was. Remember they had the kind of the year where they had the dual draft class. Hobby just wasn't doing well, right? Basketball was down. So the NBA was looking for a way to get things back, and Panini, I guess, suggested, "Hey, we'll take on basketball, guys." Like the guy said, "Hey, Tops, Upper Deck, let me do basketball. We'll get it going, and then we'll talk about this later." And Upper Deck and Tops said, "Sure, I guess." Or back to where they didn't bid as much as Panini did. So Panini got a 5-year exclusive license. I believe it was from like 2009 to 14 or something like that. You can check the dates. And they executed very well in those first 5 years. That's why we had NT. We had some great products. When we look back, there was like some really good products. In fact, I think they hired the guy who did Exquisite. They brought him over to build National Treasures. And I could be wrong on that. That's an assumption. But they made some great investments. And then after the 5 years, they went back to basketball, the NBA, and said, "Hey, we'd like to re-up this." And they're like, "Sure, let's go ahead and re-up it. It's working." But again, this is like 2016, 17, 15. So the hobby wasn't the way it was then. And Tops was doing well, and Upper Deck was doing well, and they seemed fine. And then boom, here we are today. I'm going to ask that if you would ask those companies, they would not want there to be exclusive licensings today. Now, there was a great debate. I want to say that Jeremy did with Card Ladder and Dr. Beckett talking about exclusivity, whether it be good or bad. And the comments were when the world had no exclusivity, it was kind of a wild west, and the hobby wasn't growing very well. And Dr. Beckett's comment was, since we've had exclusivity, we've had very strong growth, right? I don't think exclusivity is why we've had that strong growth, though. If that makes sense. So anyway, that's my logic thinking on this, is that I still think breaking those exclusive licenses would still give the leagues just as much, if not more money, right? Because you can expand that license to NFTs and other products. They're going to make enough money and make the hobby a better place with competition. Laugh my ass out. Robot. Sounds amazing. 90% of card prices are inflated because of manipulation. This is why I come down dramatically. Remember this at the National. Very, very true. Very true. And I'll give you an example of that manipulation, right? Simply, I could be watching a bunch of people break cards. The guy breaks a LaMelo Ball base prism. I grab it. "Hey, man, I'll give you $100 for the card." I take the card. I flash PSA grade it. And I also grab a whole bunch of them. And then I listed it at $1,000 and no one's going to buy it. But then I have a couple others and I do a sale at $500 or a sale at $600. And then to the market, what the perception is, wow, someone's asking $1,000, but this one's sold for $500. $500 must be a deal. And then everybody else thinks $500 is a deal. And then they go out and buy $500. But reality is, it's a base prism that was graded, flash graded, and its value is probably a lot lower. That's a quick example of how I'd see it easy to inflate and manipulate this market. And again, there's nobody checking it. There's no regulation. So it does happen often. I immediately thought of robots when the boob guns in the Austin Powers, when I thought of, oh yeah, I remember that. The boob guns. Boobs. I'm shocked LaMelo Ball's dad hasn't gotten into cards. Probably his booth at the show is trying to sell sneakers. It's interesting. I didn't like LaMelo Ball's dad, but now I look back and think maybe he's a genius because he knew, I guess, how his sons were going to do, and he knew that Lonzo needed help. So that's why I think it was. And Lonzo's great, but he did a lot of hyping. They still got that baller brand out there. I also think I talked yesterday about the licensing and LaMelo, is he signing with Panini? I could see him not doing it if he's listening to his father. His father could blow in his ear going, "Don't sign with Panini, man. You can sell your autographs for more." They're very aware on the value of what's going on. So not surprised here. Pepino Man, a month ago, people were saying the National would be overpriced cards. Now people are saying it'd be full of cheap liquidation. Who knows? That is very true. And I agree. Who knows, man? Go enjoy it. Enjoy it for the experience. And I do mean that. Like, I don't look at the National as an investor business meeting, like I'm going to go there and profit this much money. I look at it as I'm going to go there, I'm going to meet people, I'm going to see things, I'm going to learn, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to have a dinner in Chicago, I'm going to go check out the lake, whatever that might be. I do this for the experience. But it will be interesting to see what happens. I cannot wait to hear. And I'll also say this too. I am very positive regardless of the National. And what I mean by that, even though I say I suspect a crash and correction in behavior, I still see a great opportunity as a collector to collect. There's great products. I'm just more focused. I don't listen to all the noise. I have the education I need. I'm continuing to learn. But I love this hobby, man. I really do. I do enjoy the hobby. Personal finance dad sucking up to Jeff Wilson and Sasha Lovefest. I don't recall, but I'm not going to argue with that. At the National, maybe? Yeah, I like all three. I'm not going to hate on any of them. I'm shocked that Ball Dad has been quiet. He could be obviously pushing content. I agree, too. I am surprised. But also, he might just be sitting there counting his Benjamins, man. I mean, he's probably made a lot of money through his sons. And I think maybe one of his sons might say, Dad, just shut up. You know? Seinfeld cards. Ooh, that's a good one. If I were to collect some other card, it'd be Star Trek. It would be Star Trek. Next Generation. Big Next Generation fan. It would be amazing to go to the National for the experience, but I have to live within my limits. I agree, man. I agree. I do too. It's also time. It's money. It's a lot of things. Cheers, Seinfeld friends. I want a Soup Nazi insert. Soup Nazi insert would be hilarious. That would be funny. LaMelo's dad is going to make his own cards. So that's why he hasn't signed with Panini. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. Ziggy, how does LeBron Chrome go from in a week? I'll tell you how. Gary V. Am I wrong? I think it was Gary V. Now, will it stay there is a question. Will it stay at 22K? Just like Gary V pumped Ethereum up to, I think it was $4,000 a token, and it's down to 2,000. And I just don't understand that. Like, we all know that Gary V's doing that. And he's not deliberately doing it. Like, he's not doing it for his own profit, but he does know he has that power that when he says, man, you should be buying LeBron Chrome, it goes from 12 to 22. Just Vistaprint them. The licensing and the growth of the market correction doesn't necessarily indicate causation. Sorry, my data mind is always saying that. That's a good point. With licensing and the growth of the market, correlation doesn't necessarily indicate causation. I like what you think. Groot and Sandy, stop barking at the neighbor. Groot, stop. Come here. Ball brand cards, Alonzo Ball cards making a comeback. I think it's because Alonzo's going to be traded too. I'm going national mainly to meet people, and my content will show that. The YouTube card community is looking at this as a meetup. I agree, Leader. And man, have a great time there. I really wish I was going to be able to go. But look for all the extra things they're doing, the giveaways, the parties, the events. Boy, we went for an hour this Friday morning. Wow. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Talk too long. Really enjoy the comments, the feedback, everything. Have a great weekend. I definitely will be dropping more content this weekend. I will be back live Sunday night. And I will say this too. It's open mic night, but I really would love to hear from just regular old collectors and people. And you don't have to put your face on camera. You can do audio if you want to. And I've also welcome all my friends who are in the content world. If you've got a channel, you want to come join the channel, please do. But don't think this is limited to people just have channels. I want to hear from everybody, right? So if you're a collector, you're in the hobby, you're new to the hobby, old hobby, join the show. I'm probably going to put a promotion video out to kind of drive some of that. I'd like to have more of that on the Sunday shows. And I think I'll starting another show, or maybe use Sundays or one other night to do kind of a regular interview shows. So again, guys, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. Have a great, great day, great weekend. Did I miss some more comments? Here's one. I was a fan of Jeremy, but I finally realized that he has a mark of the hobby and will never tell the truth. Everything is sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, I'll say Jeremy's an interesting guy. It bugs me that he has me banned. Still has me banned. Guys, he still has me banned. He has me banned. I can't comment. So childish. Great show. Have a nice weekend. Thanks, Money Malone Mindset. Man, we should talk. I want to talk to you about the Panini and Panini possibly going public. Have a good day, guys. Have a good day. Thank you, guys.